This is TomoNews for Tuesday, June 28th. Famous people get the naked treatment in new Kanye West video. You either love him or hate him, but Kanye West is one celeb who knows how to get attention. His latest foray into controversy is a music video featuring naked wax replicas of famous people. Supposedly a commentary on fame, the video has managed to strike nerves, all while making Ye even more famous. Taylor Swift announced the song during her Grammy speech, and gal pal Lena Dunham followed suit with a verbal tirade on Facebook. George Bush had a beef with the video, but only because he looks way better in real life, or so he claims. Kim K's sex tape co-star Ray J wasn't spared, and his manager is making serious threats. But Kanye being Kanye, he's probably just proud of himself for getting under their skin. Fans think Ye is criticizing the system that exploits celebs, but it's definitely a system he knows how to take full advantage of. Bravo, Kanye, you jack.
Singapore Airlines flight lands on runway and catches fire. During the early morning hours of June 27th, a Singapore Airlines flight to Milan found itself in a scary situation. Roughly 2 hours into the journey, the 222 passengers and 19 crew members on board the Boeing 777 were notified by the pilot of an engine oil warning message, which would force the plane to have to turn back to Singapore. As the pilot was making an emergency landing at Changi Airport, suddenly the plane's right engine burst into flames. Fire crews rushed to douse the fire as passengers could only watch from their seats, trapped on board. Many have been reported as saying they felt they were about to die. Luckily, within minutes, the fire was extinguished, with no injuries to report. Passengers safely disembarked from the plane and were put on a new flight to Italy a few hours later.
Rolls-Royce unveils driverless concept car. Royce Motor Cars unveiled its first driverless concept car in London last week. The Rolls-Royce Vision 100 concept car is 5.9 meters in length, longer than a Cadillac Escalade or creb-cab pickup. Rolls-Royce claimed the model is zero emission, meaning it could be electric. The driverless car automatically opens its roof and doors for waiting passengers. The luggage compartment in the front of the car slides open automatically on arrival. Despite its length, the car only has one row of seating. The usual steering wheel is replaced by a thin and flexible OLED touchscreen, which uses organic semiconductors to create thin, light-emitting panels. The car features a virtual assistant named Eleanor, which can start the car and bring it to the front of the house before the ride begins. Eleanor also acts as a virtual assistant, offering reminders about meetings, navigation tips, and restaurant suggestions. Rolls-Royce said the car's glass roof provides privacy while allowing passengers to contemplate the majesty of the stars. Upon reaching the destination, the car's glass roof rises, and a step emerges with the projection of a red light, for what Rolls-Royce calls a carpet-like experience. Rolls-Royce said the car will be on the market in 2040. Girl fired for having allergic reaction at work. Some like it hot, but Canadian teenager Danielle Duperio definitely does not. She doesn't even like it mild. The 18-year-old from Saskatoon was fired by clothing store Urban Planet last week when she had an allergic reaction to a bell pepper. Danielle is allergic to the touch and smell of mangoes, which make her hands blister. But hot peppers are her real worst enemy, and even bell peppers are enough to trigger an anaphylactic reaction. So when Danielle ate something on her break that she shouldn't have, she started to choke at work. She hadn't even made it to the hospital when the store manager sent her a message saying she was fired. Danielle said she couldn't find her EpiPen, a medical device that provides an antidote to anaphylaxis. She had only worked at the store for 2 months. The CEO of Urban Planet's parent company said sorry to Danielle and offered to pay her until she finds a new job. But Danielle said she was still waiting for an apology from her former supervisor. Murder suspect tries to grab Cincinnati police officer's gun. Footage released by the Cincinnati Police Department shows the moment a murder suspect tried to grab an officer's gun as he was being handcuffed to the chair in an interview room. In the clip, suspect Thomas Robinson reaches for the cop's gun as he is having his handcuffs exchanged. The officer is able to keep a hold of his gun, while other officers rush into the room and use tasers to subdue Robinson. Local media report that Robinson was being held on a bond of over $1.5 million after being accused of killing teenager Joseph Reno Armstrong. According to the Cincinnati Police, Robinson had a gun and heroin on him when he was arrested. Texas City Council votes to evict cat from library. The White Settlement City Council voted 2-1 to remove a cat who has lived in the city's library for the past 6 years. Browser the cat has been crashing at the White Settlement Public Library for over half a decade. His supporters say he's great for pest control and helps attract children to the library. Those against having Browser in the library brought up the issue of people with cat allergies. The mayor blamed the motion on a city employee who wasn't allowed to keep a pet puppy at work. Browser has his own Facebook page and has rallied 618 signatures on an informal library petition against his eviction. This is why we can't stand the government. And on a side note, White Settlement? What a surprise. It's in Texas. DUI suspect drives a mile with dead body parts on her car. A suspected drunken driver killed a pedestrian in a vicious hit-and-run in Oceanside, California on Monday. She reportedly drove for a mile with the victim's body stuck in her front seat. Police believe 29-year-old Stacy Sanchez was driving under the influence when she drove her car up onto the sidewalk and randomly hit a man at around 6:20 a.m. Due to the excessive speed of the car, the victim flew through the windshield, landing face down, and came to a rest on the front passenger seat. The man's leg detached from his body and flew through the back window, landing on the trunk of Sanchez's vehicle. Sanchez continued driving for about a mile, eventually parking her vehicle in a neighborhood cul-de-sac and walking away. Authorities found Sanchez a few blocks away after witnesses called police. She was arrested and charged with felony DUI, felony hit and run, and vehicular manslaughter. Sanchez was booked into the Vista detention facility. Officials are working on contacting the victim's family before releasing his name. Pliers fall 31 stories and nail woman's skull. A 58-year-old Chinese woman is recovering in intensive care this week after having pliers removed from her brain. Wang Youfang was walking with her granddaughter outside her residential building in Sichuan on Friday, when out of nowhere, rusty pliers fell from the sky, hitting her and penetrating deep inside her head. According to reports, the pliers cracked Wang's skull and drove 6 inches into her brain. The tool fell from a 31-story building where a renovation project was reportedly taking place. Surgeons removed the pliers but say Wang is now at risk of infection because the tool was dirty and the wound was too deep to clean. Police reportedly have a suspect in custody in connection with the accident. Woman gets run over on Taiwan zebra crossing. Stunning taxi dashcam footage captured the moment a woman was brutally mowed down as she crossed the street in Taiwan yesterday. The action begins as the taxi approaches a 4-way intersection in Taipei. The pedestrian lights are green, so in theory, that means turning vehicles should give way to pedestrians on the zebra crossing. But this is Taiwan, where it's the law of the jungle on the roads. Might is right, and only the strongest survive. Let's take another look. By the time the poor lady looks to her right, it's too late. She's disregarded the golden rule of boxing and crossing streets in Taipei. Protect yourself at all times. That's not to say it's her fault, of course. Guess there's not much you can do when an SUV driver puts her foot down going into a turn. By some miracle, the 28-year-old woman survived. She was taken to the hospital with multiple injuries, including damage to her pelvis. There's no word yet on what action police will take against the driver of the SUV. And, well, at least she didn't do a hit and run. All we can say is be careful out there, folks. Texas police release body cam of violent arrest.
The little boy!
Police have released the 911 audio and body cam footage of a man being arrested outside a fast food restaurant, just 2 days after a witness video of the incident went viral online. On June 25th, 2 Whataburger employees reported an aggressive man harassing and threatening to assault customers.
Where's my money back, bro? Before they said
When police responded to the incident, they approached the man near his white pickup truck. A little boy, presumably the man's son, was inside the truck.
Put your hands on the truck.
The altercation began when an officer tried to check the suspect for weapons.
I ain't weapon. Hands. Stop fighting me, bro.
When the man resisted, a struggle ensued. Authorities attempted to restrain him while the little boy screamed inside the car.
The little boy! Get the little boy out of the other side! Get the little boy!
A taser was used, but to no effect.
Somebody get it on camera! Somebody get it on camera! Y'all get it on camera, man!
I got it.
Hey, take my son from me!
3 officers eventually managed to hold the suspect down and cuff him.
That's fucked up! That's fucked up!
While on the ground, he told police he would see them in court, alleging police brutality.
That other fucker didn't listen to what I had to say, okay? You trying to finish it. It took all 3-4 y'all. We're finished now.
But after a review of the videos taken of the incident, police officials believe the officers acted appropriately.
I feel so bad for that little boy.
Daddy, I love you! Don't ever forget that! They beat the fuck out of me, you sorry motherfuckers!
The man, later identified as Eliseo Padilla III, was charged with 3 counts of assault, resisting arrest, and failure to identify. He may also have been intoxicated on an unknown drug. Why are thousands of Brits suddenly seeking Irish passports? Thousands of Brits are seeking information on how to acquire an Irish passport in a bid to maintain their European Union citizenship following last week's Brexit vote. According to Reuters, post offices in Northern Ireland ran out of passport application forms. Meanwhile, the Irish Embassy in London, which normally receives 200 passport queries a day, received 4,000. That's a 2,000% increase. Applications normally cost €175 or around $190. If all those applications are processed, it could net the Irish government around €700,000 or some $775,000. Currently, anyone born in Ireland or Northern Ireland can obtain an Irish passport. Anyone with an Irish parent or grandparent can also obtain an Irish passport. According to Reuters, the number of people living in the UK entitled to an Irish passport amounts to around 6 million. It's not just Irish passports Brits are seeking. Over 1 million live in the EU and are looking for ways to maintain their EU citizenship. It's currently unknown what will happen to EU-based British expats and EU citizens in the UK following the Brexit vote.